The crowd is assembled at the American Airlines Center looking for a Mavericks win here in downtown Dallas. With Greg Anthony and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan. David Aldridge will join us from the sidelines. For the Dallas Mavericks, they won their last contest, that game against the Suns in Phoenix.
They executed on the road, stayed focused, stayed consistent with who you are as a team.
No doubt. I mean, they played to their strengths, and that's what helped them get this road win. I loved how they played for each other.
Doris, we've already had a few surprises this season. Some teams really exceeding expectations. Others have kind of gone the other way. What's your take?
You know, it's always a little bit early to tell exactly what kind of team you're going to have, because we've seen this historically. A team races out to maybe a 7-1 start or a 10-1 start, and yet perhaps they come back to the field. The teams that are the youngest seem to have the steepest learning curve. So where are the lottery picks and what impact are those guys having?
And the starting lineup for the Timberwolves. Gibson plays the 4 with Towns in the middle. Butler teams with Wiggins as the deadly wing duo. And it's Teague in a point. That free throw good from Butler.
And Jimmy Butler, you know, something of a quirky character, has a ritual whenever he's at a grocery store of paying the person's bill behind him. Doesn't care if it's 99 cents or 2,000.
And so Butler nails both of them. And Butler never afraid to be a little bit different, listening to country music in the locker room, much to his teammates' chagrin.
And in the offseason, riding around in a van with a baby on board sticker, even though he's single with no kids. Remove the rearview mirror as a symbolic reminder to never look back. This guy's special.
Now here's Teague. Pass to Towns. That one off the back iron and out. Here's Doncic. The pass to Smith. Pass to Doncic. Karl Anthony Towns with the rebound. Here's Butler. Feeds to Gibson. And he was camped in the lane there, and he gets the 3-second call.
Dallas ball.
About 1 minute into the first quarter. Doncic kicks to Nowitzki. The dish now to Doncic. Jordan with it. Now guarded by Towns. Smith against Teague. So the whistle blows on the shot, and 2 free throws for the contact right there. And you know, Dennis Smith Jr. is a player who just is oozing with confidence when you see him play.
Yeah, I just love how Smith Jr. will attack every player he goes up against. Chris Paul, who Smith Jr. goes way back with, noticed how even as a rookie, he approaches every challenge head on. As a rookie, Smith Jr. was just jawing at the vets and dunking on everyone. He has the game to back up that personality.
And that one misses.
And you know, known for that rim-rocking dunking ability, Smith Jr., though, a special talent. This is a guy who wants to keep getting better over time.
Good on the second free throw. The Dallas Mavericks last season could not have been more disappointing, Doris.
Well, you think about management for this organization, Kevin. They had tried to avoid a rebuild. But at some point, every franchise probably has to go through it. And one of the things you must have in a rebuild is patience.
Now, here's Butler. He had a 36-point outing in the last game against Cleveland.
And, guys, he was also huge on defense, turning away 2 shots and altering countless more.
Now the Mavericks with it. Smith with it, picked up by Teague. Smith kicks to Nowitzki. The feed to Barnes. And the rejection by Towns.
Well, his value to this team on both ends. Not many guys can defend the perimeter and the rim the way Towns can.
And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to David Aldridge.
Well, earlier I spoke with Tom Thibodeau. He said even though this was their first meeting of the year, he did not expect there to be a filling out period between these teams. He said, we have a group of guys who can score and do it in a hurry. We're going to go right at them and test their defense early on. Looks like they're in attack mode, Kevin. Back to you.
David, thank you. They're putting the priority on offense today if everything goes according to plan.
Yeah, I mean, from the sound of it, they're not going to be using much of the shot clock here in the early going.
And why should they when they have such tremendous quick strike ability? Put pressure on the defense and keep it on.
Some tough offensive sets. They want to turn it around.
Yeah, right now you just need a bucket to get some momentum.
Butler with the steal. Teague dishes to Wiggins. He feeds it to Butler. No good there. Now the Mavericks take it the other way. The drive by Jordan. Shoots over Towns. Rebound Minnesota. Coming into this having notched a win against Cleveland in their last game.
And they just had it going from deep. Plus, they were efficient about it.
I thought Greg, masterful ball movement and shooting for them that night. They were draining every 3 in sight.
Timberwolves leading by 3. The 17-footer goes down. Towns has got his second bucket of the night.
Well, the big man, Taj Gibson, pretty assist there, Kevin.
And Dallas calls their first time out of the game.
Well, Taj Gibson is playing a career high in minutes with the Timberwolves. This guy is in his early 30s. He's kept himself in unbelievable physical shape every single year. He's now healthy. And I'll say this, Taj Gibson is one of those guys you want in the trenches with you. You know what you're going to get on a night-by-night basis.
Well, while we have a second, let's go to the 2K leaderboard for a list of the league's top shooters from last season. DeAndre Jordan is second.
Put the ball in the bucket. I mean, that's the name of the game, right? I mean, just ask him. He'll have the answer for you.
Smith with it. He had an 18-point outing in the last game against the Suns in Phoenix.
And what a wrecking ball defensively, seen by the 4 steals he had in that game.
Here's Butler. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
So a moment now to see the story on Jeff Teague. Good season for him last year. Last season, put up about 14 points a game, 7 assists, and 3 rebounds. And this is the kind of strong, steady play you like to see. He's earning his keep and helping them win games.
I think they need more consistency from him, and they're getting it. Look for this to continue. I love it.
And he makes the first. And Doris, you were talking about the responsibility for Taj Gibson with the Wolves. Coach Thibodeau bringing in the seasoned veterans to complement the young talent.
Well, Kevin, Taj Gibson is exactly the kind of influence and teammate you want, both on the floor and in the locker room. Here's a hard-working, defensive-minded player. He's made the playoffs in just about every season he has been in the league. And he has proven on the offensive end that you can play through him in the post. So much to love about Taj Gibson.
Now, here is Smith. Barnes outside. Up again. Jimmy Butler with the rebound.
And right from the start, Kevin, they've been pounding the glass. Most of those 50-50 balls also going their way.
Towns, a screen on Smith. Wiggins outside. Kicks it to Butler. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Shoots over Matthews. The Timberwolves again can't hit. Teague against Smith. Passes to Nowitzki. Jordan the screen. Barnes. And it's Barnes on the follow.
Well, for some reason, no one accounting for Barnes on the offensive glass, and that cost them.
Towns the screen. Wiggins outside. Towns sets the pick for Wiggins. They grab their own miss.
Boy, what a nice carom there, guys. He can really use that size and length to his advantage.
And Jordan slams it in.
And he doesn't always feel the need to get fancy on those dunks, but when Jordan does, he makes it something special, just like that one.
That instant replay brought to you by Under Armour Hover Havoc, giving us a chance to relive the unleashing of chaos that time. Another miss by Minnesota.
Well, they've been playing some tough defense on him in this period, and it's starting to affect him. This guy's having trouble finding the target right now.
To the middle, got a piece of it, and stolen by Wiggins. Outside Gibson, Butler on the wing. Dishes it to Teague. Floats it up for Butler, and stolen by Nowitzki. And stolen by Wiggins. Down low, here's Butler, and he uses the glass on the layup. Butler's got 6.
Well, this guy is so good at exploiting the holes in the defense and getting inside. Jimmy Butler, high percentage finish.
Smith kicks to Nowitzki. Here's Barnes. Begins with the block.
He's trying to make something happen, but obviously been a tough quarter. Well, a little show and tell from the Butler. Jimmy giving the fans their money's worth.
Smith the pass to Barnes. No good with the triple.
You can see the frustration in the quarter on his face, especially with his team trailing.
Offensive rebound. Wiggins. So the whistle blows on the shot, and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
Well, with the first overall pick in 2014, Wiggins has some pressure on him, but he has steadily improved his play.
And Andrew Wiggins, the #1 overall pick back in 14. Great bloodlines, the son of pro athletes. The game just seems to come easy to him.
Free throw good, Wiggins. You know, Greg, the game comes so easy to Wiggins, but some say he needs to be more assertive, more aggressive. Do you see that?
I mean, high expectations for a player that was taken first overall. The length and athleticism should enable him to impact the game in so many ways, but, you know, his motor doesn't always rev high enough to take advantage.
And both free throws good for Wiggins. We now have rules, Doris, that protect shooters from defenders stepping underneath them, but what about when the defender leaves his feet and the offensive player steps underneath and tries to draw the foul?
Well, I think one of the things that we have to look at is, okay, we certainly do not want the defender to have unnatural movements which place him underneath the feet of the shooter, because that's where injuries can happen. On the other side of the equation, and this has become problematic to me, you see far too many shooters either jump unnaturally outside of what should be a straight up and down shooting motion, or guys who kick their legs sideways in an attempt to draw contact and fall over. But Kev, this is where officiating is about feel, touch, and vision.
Minnesota with the ball. The Mavericks making the shot. Back to Rose. Barea pulls it in.
And they've come out with a take-no-prisoners approach on the glass here tonight, guys.
That bucket in no time at all. And now it's just a 4-point Timberwolves lead. Rose against Barea. Wiggins, a screen on Barea. Jang dishes to Wiggins. And he's fouled pretty hard on that shot, but he's got the chance to pick up the points at the line. Harrison Barnes picks one up.
Well, you think about Andrew Wiggins, guys, signing that max deal in 2017. Timberwolves ownership, though, wanted to sit down with Wiggins to hear him commit to being a better player. Pretty unusual stuff.
Free throw, no good. And on the heels of that contract extension, all of Andrew Wiggins' shooting percentages fell last season. Doris, you think a cause for concern for the Timberwolves?
Well, I think obviously, Kevin, anytime you've committed almost $30 million a season to one guy, the expectations are going to be sky high. For me, Andrew Wiggins needs to just stay consistent. We are talking about a guy with elite athleticism, plenty to take advantage on the offensive end. It's a question for me of, does Andrew Wiggins want to be great? Because the potential is there.
And their post play has been really solid right off the bat.
Minnesota in the lead. Now here's Rose. Still getting warmed up offensively. No buckets yet in the game for him. Unloads from 13. The shot missing. And it's Dallas the other way. Outside for Barea. Back to Powell. There's the three. Rebound, Minnesota.
Not quite enough defense that time around. Just lucky he was off.
Trying to go for an alley-oop, but excellent defense and anticipation there to stop it. They get a hand on it.
Boy, a little too casual on the layup. Temporary loss of focus. Not good.
Pass to Butler. Shoots over Matthews. And the shot is long.
His shot's off, but they're still winning. So hats off to his teammates for picking up the slack.
Rose with the block. Here is Tolliver. They need this one, and that's out of bounds. Minnesota will retain possession. Jones checked in for the Timberwolves. So the Timberwolves called their first timeout.
Yeah, just ice cold right now from the floor. Time to regroup.
And I think, Greg, they look lost and they look frustrated. Not sure how they're missing so many shots right now.
A moment here to see the stats for Butler. Coming off a terrific season. Averaged about 22 points per, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds. He has been terrific throughout, putting up some huge numbers offensively.
Well, and this is exactly who he is, a flat-out scoring machine. You plug him in and let him go to work.
The Timberwolves again can't hit.
I'll tell you, he's had a tough night. And if you're going to shake out of a slump, he's not going to do it with those kinds of shots.
I mean, even he was surprised to be that open.
They're not having much success at all right now.
Kevin, I would shuffle the lineup if I were their coach a little bit just to try to find something that works. They hold the early advantage on the glass.
To the middle, here's Powell, and that one clearly a foul. Gets the whistle, and 2 shots coming up. That one on Rose. And just an impossible shot to guard at times. Doris, when you think of that step-back jump shot in the league, it's lethal. And there are a couple guys who have perfected it.
Well, 2 in particular. James Harden, that step back that he added is now unguardable. And Steph Curry as well. Those 2 men, when they decide to get to that step-back jumper, turn the lights out, close the gym doors, and step back because it's going in.
Now the free throw is good. Now leading by 1.
Well, this is a decent free throw shooter, and where Powell could help himself is getting to the line a little bit more.
That one falls, so he hits both of them. And one thing Rick Carlisle is known for is his accountability.
Right, and that extends to himself as much as it does the players who play for him. Listen, if this guy makes the wrong play call, he is going to make sure you know about that. And I think that's an approach you see from the top down in this organization.
Now, here's Measury. He hasn't scored yet. That, I'm sure, will change. There's the pick. Powell kicks to Matthews. Just 4 to shoot. Here's Barnes. Oh, and that one had the right spin on it, and it is good. And the Mavericks lead by 4.
With that now, only 2 of 7 to start the game. Not the start he was hoping for.
Zhang, a screen. Jones, the pass to Butler. There's the pass to Tolliver. The Timberwolves need to get a shot off here. The Timberwolves again can't hit.
And as he squares up for mid-range, the defender right in his face.
Well, classic example of crowding the shooter, not letting him get comfortable in the mid-range.
Rose, that's good.
Well, Gorgui Zhang, as a big man, is an excellent passer. That's a pretty look.
Barea against Jones. Nobody near Barnes. Sinks the three-pointer. Barnes has got 7 points in the game.
Guys, listen, the defense was totally invisible on that three-point attempt. Nobody even in his zip code.
Rose can't hit.
A blown opportunity after the 2-man game creates a terrific look.
Well, he simply misfired. You've got to capitalize when the screen opens up wide-open shots like that.
Butler against Barnes. And here is Butler. Lets it go with a 3. No good. Shot missing. And that does it for the first quarter. Mavericks lead by 5. After this break, we'll be back with the start of the second quarter on 2K Sports. It's been a storied career for Dirk Nowitzki, but as he ages, he says he's spending a lot more time getting his body prepared to play.
Jake Kidd sort of tried all sorts of things when he was here. He was older, and, you know, he got massages right before the games and the stretching and all that. Now I'm in the same shoes. You know, I do all that stuff now, and you almost do as much off the court as you practice on the court.
A lot goes into holding off Father Time, but Father Time, by the way, is undefeated.
Yeah, and retirement's something he's considered for a few summers now, but he's making the most of his Hall of Fame career, savoring every last minute.
And now the second quarter just getting set to start. And what do you think, guys, about Dallas here in this one?
I think they play great D and not giving up anything easy early on.
You love that they're making the offense work, right? Making every single thing they try to do hard.
In a moment now to reset the lineups, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up for the second quarter of basketball. And so in the game for the Timberwolves, they've got Jimmy Butler. Rose is out there with Jones. Then it's Gorgie Dang. And it's Kuzminskas in at the four-man position. And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to David Aldridge.
Well, the Mavericks were ecstatic when Dennis Smith Jr. fell to them with the 9th pick of the 2017 draft. For a team in need of athleticism and size at the point guard, it's been a hand-and-glove fit. The 6'3" Smith has a 48-inch vertical, one of the highest ever measured.
A terrific young player, an elite NBA athlete. David, that's for sure. Good stuff, thanks. Here is Matthews. Jimmy Butler making his last shot, and Matthews gets it to go.
Defensively, they just look out of sync, not closing out on the threes in time.
Jones kicks to Rose. Jang, a screen. Pass to Butler. Now Jang. He's coming off a 10-point game against Cleveland. And it's Butler missing.
You know what? He's just stone cold right now. Really not sure if he's their best option offensively as they try to get back in this game.
Year after year, the Timberwolves have the NBA's most grueling travel schedule. A lot of miles to cover in the West.
Kevin, if you add up their flights in a season, they could circle the globe more than twice. And let's remember, there's no frequent flyer miles here either.
Shooting two.
The first free throw is good.
In today's NBA, we like to talk about that three-point shot. Well, the Dallas Mavericks, believe it or not, took the 4th most in the NBA last year.
Catching up on the changes for Dallas. Jordan comes in for Measure, and Smith subbed in for Matthews. Karl Anthony Towns checked in for the Timberwolves. Teague comes in for Rose. He's perfect from the line this time. And the Mavs, Doris, not only took a lot of threes, they made a lot of threes.
Well, when you have shooters, the likes of Dirk Nowitzki, Wes Matthews, Doug McDermott, the list goes on, three-point shooting was the least of their worries last season.
Dallas leading by 9. Jordan the pass to Powell. Doncic no good for Minnesota. They've gone 2 of 4 shooting the ball here in the second. Outside Butler. There's a screen. Towns sets the pick for Butler. He kicks it to Towns. Doncic with it. Last time 14 points for him. Here's Barea. There's the basket and make it a double-digit lead. Barea's got 5 points now in the quarter.
Well, face up and drill it. JJ more of a scorer than a pure shooter, but looks good that time.
Minnesota calls timeout. And DeAndre Jordan this last offseason opting out of his contract with the LA Clippers. He felt, Greg, obviously it was time to move on.
It didn't take long for Jordan to find a new home here in Dallas. Had almost signed with them last time he was a free agent. Closed the deal this time around. Still has a lot to offer and a really good fit for this team inside.
Dallas making a switch here. Nowitzki's checked in. Here's Smith. It's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
Taking a look at some stats for DeAndre Jordan. Last season, he played outstanding. 2nd in rebounding. And he ranks 2nd in the league in field goal percentage. Able to finish with force and even a little finesse at times.
And looking back at last season, his complete dominance on the boards to rank number 2 overall.
2 shots.
Absolutely remarkable. The free throw drops for Smith. When Dennis Smith Jr. gets going, Doris, you can just see the explosiveness he has.
Oh, Kev, I mean, I'll tell you, the burst is amazing. And what I like is he will dunk over any player and, if necessary, dunk through a player.
Smith hits them both.
And it took them a while to find their touch at the line, but they have been red hot here in the second quarter.
Jones with the screen on Barea. Towns sets the pick for Teague. Kicks it to Towns. Back to Teague. Towns the screen. And Teague has it in the corner. The Timberwolves again can't hit. Mavericks leading by 13. Here's Barea. That shot misses. Great D that time from Teague. Here's Kuzminskis. And he could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for two.
I think the trade for Jimmy Butler and other veteran signings accelerated the Wolves' rebuild. They are in much more of a win-now mentality.
And Doris, Jimmy Butler with an opt-out after this season. Pressure on Minnesota to prove this team can be a winner.
And Kevin, their flexibility is a little bit hamstrung by their max contracts. They're going to need to find some value pickups and develop from within.
He misses the free throw. Taj Gibson's checked in for Butler. He hits the second from the line. And Doris, the Wolves, a lot of promise, but how do they deliver?
I think Tom Thibodeau says it best, Kevin. It's the little things. The magic is actually in the work you put in every day. No shortcuts, no easy way out. There's a price to be paid for winning in the NBA.
Hits the three-point bomb.
Yeah, great outside shooting, really fueling this run.
Jones against Smith. Right side Towns, and stolen by Jordan. To the middle, here's Smith, and he's fouled pretty hard on that shot, but he's got the chance to pick up the points at the line. It's going to go on Tyus Jones. For Dallas, they have been coming through at the charity stripe. They've made 7 of their 8 attempts.
And going back a season ago, they were a pretty average team at the line, about 76% altogether.
Shooting 2.
The first free throw is good. For the Dallas Mavericks, it's been a rough couple years, but Doris, you get the sense that this lull is just temporary.
And the reason you think that's because when you combine great coaching with great management, you know you're going to make the right decision more often than not. So it's never easy to turn over an aging roster, but they hit big time on Dennis Smith Jr. And overall, I think the arrow is pointing up with this organization.
And if they stay this hot from the line, there's a good chance they'll hang on to that lead. They're at about 90% for the game.
Pass to Teague. Drains it from beyond the arc. Teague's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3.
Well, I really like how active Jeff Teague is staying on the offensive end of the floor. He positions himself well off the screen.
Uncovered. Rebound by Smith.
Well, I think the defense took that possession off. I'm pretty sure he won't miss next time.
Back to Jordan. Oh, a nice defensive play to disrupt the alley-oop. 13 feet away. That one a tad offline to the right, but drops in for him. And it's 6 points for Karl Anthony Towns. Barea against Teague. Nowitzki for 3. Good. It's Barea who picks up the assist.
Come on now. Very few in the catch-and-shoot game better than Dirk Nowitzki. Still commands a ton of respect.
Teague dishes to Wiggins. Here's Towns. And again, Minnesota with the triple.
And that's how you answer back.
Well, you can tell that was a little give good, get good. Executed well on the offensive end, connects on the deep threat.
Now here's Barea, who's coming off a 13-point game against Phoenix.
Hard to figure out how he doesn't knock that one down. No defender in sight.
And it's Wiggins missing. Mavericks leading by 12. Shot from 12. Barea, no good. For Minnesota, they've gotten exactly half their shots to go down here in the second, 5 of 10. Screen by Jones. Pass to Wiggins. From past the arc, Barea pulls it in.
Boy, he has been cold for a while now.
Yeah, starting to look like it's taking its toll mentally. He doesn't look like himself.
Now here's Jordan. Launches a three, and Nowitzki gets it to go down on the assist by Jordan. Nowitzki's got a pair of triples in the second now for Dallas. And the Timberwolves call time here.
Guys, how about J.J. Barea? In his 12th year in the NBA, no less, he establishes career highs across the board and does nothing but get better with age. I love it.
Dallas making a switch here. Barnes is checked in. And we'll examine here how the distribution has been between three-pointers and two-pointers tonight for the Mavericks.
It really struck a nice balance between long-range shooting and also attacking the rim. That keeps the defense off balance and keeps things flowing offensively.
Timberwolves trail by 15. And Barea now in his second run with Dallas won an NBA title with the team, you may recall, back in 2011.
Well, he was critical in that title run, Kev, and now he's trying to help this organization rebuild. This guy, a clear fan favorite, and it's incredible to me. He seems to be getting better with his age. Just can't find a shot. It's no wonder they're losing. I mean, he's been completely scoreless all night.
Jordan the screen. Off the screen, Barnes. And DeAndre Jordan throws it down.
One thing never changes in the NBA. Jordan will always be there among the top offensive rebounders in the league.
Now here's Teague. He picked up 12 points in their last win against Cleveland. From 12 feet out, hits some rim on the way in, and the bucket's good. Doncic has got his first points of the game. Timberwolves trail by 19. Jones kicks to Towns. To stop the run. And two free throws coming up, unable to get that one to go with all the contact.
How about Karl Anthony Towns, guys? At the age of 11, guess how tall he was? 6'3". So it was his goal to develop a complete skill set all the way back then. Boy, how about that? Ahead of the game in terms of the NBA.
The free throw drops for Towns. And talk about the mindset nowadays. Kids like Towns growing up not content to just play in the paint.
That's exactly right, Kevin. His father would divide their workouts into two halves. The first was face-up, dribbling, perimeter shooting. The second half of that workout, the interior, footwork, mic and drills, finishing over either shoulder. Boy, that's a pretty smart dad. Well, the Timberwolves last year finally broke through that 14-year playoff drought, but they made it very clear that's not enough. This is a team with much bigger aspirations. Simply have to go up stronger than that. Could be a simple layup if he shows a little more determination.
Smith against Rose. Towns. It's good. This time the assist from Rose. 14 points for Karl Anthony Towns. And the Timberwolves, Doris, plan to be aggressive, getting bounced in the first round. Not going to satisfy them.
They've made it clear they want deep playoff runs and a chance to compete for titles. To do that, they understand they'll need to get a lot better.
He's tried to get it going, but the shots simply have not been there. Nothing seems to be falling.
Doncic with the steal. Inside. Wiggins with the block.
Well, using every bit of that 7-foot wingspan, Wiggins airmailing it back.
That one rolling around and rims out.
A nightmare quarter for this guy. Simply can't buy a bucket.
And the dunk by Barnes.
And the one-hand slam just looks so pretty when it's in his hand and he's the one doing the slam.
Agreed. He is smooth as silk, even on a power finish. They set the pick. Towns the screen. And a wide open look here for Wiggins. Towns, no luck. Mavericks leading by 16. Feeds it to Barnes. Wiggins with the block, and he recovers it.
A really solid free throw shooter. The team would like to see Barnes get to that line more often.
He's getting his first free throw attempt of the night right now.
Now, gentlemen, 2 shots. 2 shots.
And he knocks down the first one.
And though some were skeptical of the contract Harrison Barnes signed, he's lived up to it. Not an elite player yet, but is emerging on a franchise caliber level and continues to improve and is strong and consistent really on both ends of the floor.
Looking at who's out there now for the Mavericks. Measury, he's checked in for DeAndre Jordan. Powell comes in for Dirk Nowitzki. And Wesley Matthews subbed in for Doncic. Now the pass to Teague. He kicks it to Wiggins. Over Barnes. And Wiggins with the basket on the assist by Teague. And Greg, with Barnes, beyond what he does on the floor, he does everything right off the floor.
Yeah, I mean, this organization just loves his intangibles and demeanor as a leader. Incredible work ethic that allows him to keep refining his game. Still very young and is growing into the player this team hoped he'd be.
And I think Wes Matthews, you've got a guy who's a true leader, someone who's not afraid to speak his mind and let his teammates know what's up.
First trip to the free throw line for him in this one.
Shooting 2.
First free throw is good.
No wasted trips at all. They're taking care of business at the line.
The Timberwolves making a switch here. Butler's checked in. Both shots good from the stripe.
Well, there are certain guys that you identify as the prototypical 3-and-D player, and Wesley Matthews is one of those guys. I love that he prides himself on his ability to guard elite wings and the kind of deep range he has, even in critical moments of games. This guy's a big-time guy.
And that's the role they want for Rose, getting guys going through his passing, especially when he can find them in rhythm.
Now here's Matthews. He's got 8. Here's Smith. And then Smith with the jam.
This guy's a gifted athlete with incredible creativity on display. The ups, my goodness gracious.
Well, for Matthews, he does most of his offensive work from outside, but Doris has more to his game than just that.
Well, I think the thing that I think of when I think of Wesley Matthews is how hard this guy works. And yes, he started as an offensive perimeter threat, but he's dedicated himself to rounding out his game, and you love that from a veteran.
Now here's Barnes. He had 28 points in the win against Phoenix. Floats it up for Wiggins. And it goes out of bounds. That one off Butler. Here's what the Minnesota Timberwolves have lined up on their schedule. On Monday, they'll head back home to host the Indiana Pacers. Then on Wednesday, they'll be matching up against Kyle Lowry and the Toronto Raptors.
And for the matchup with the Lakers, that's where you have got to bring your A game, especially when you know you're going to be fighting an uphill battle all night long.
That shot wide open. 14 points for Harrison Barnes.
The improvement in Barnes' deep range just helps his offense space the floor.
Wiggins passes to Tolliver. Back to Wiggins. Measuring with the steal. Fast break, Dallas. Matthews, no one around him. And the Mavericks getting another bucket right there.
Boy, it took him a while to warm up, but since the second quarter, he's on fire.
Outside Rose. Tolliver dishes to Rose. 27 seconds left in the first half of the game. Clock at 6. Here's Jang. No good. They had a chance to end the run there. To the middle. Here's Smith. And the rejection by Jang.
Oh, the 7'3" wingspan erases that shot. Nice by Gorgui Zhang.
Probably wasn't the shot they were looking for, but they'll take the bucket.
Smith for 3. Another 3 for Dallas. And so it's Dallas in very good shape with a 23-point lead at the end of the quarter. And it's been their rugged defense setting the tone. And a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David.
Thank you, Kevin. Harrison, a big first half for you offensively. How did you get loose?
My teammates just been fine to me. I've just been trying to run hard, make good backdoor cuts, run in transition, and give me good looks.
You have not stopped moving at all, and it's led to good results. Thanks, Harrison. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, David. We'll be back after halftime for the start of the second half momentarily.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hey again, everybody. So far, a pretty lopsided game, but still one half to play. I'm Ernie Johnson, joined by Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. The first quarter for the Mavericks was fairly even. They saw their lead grow to a high water mark of 5 in the period. They just exploded in the second quarter, grabbing the momentum and running with it. Basket after basket, and they played stingy defense. Now they've got a halftime lead that's going to be very difficult to erase. And Kenny, what are your thoughts on how Dallas played?
Well, they built this lead in large part because of the sharpshooters off the bench. The subs played a superb game. Get it? Sub, superb. Oh, I'm rolling tonight. I mean, they played like starters.
Shaq, what you think about Minnesota?
Well, with the way they struggle to defend the three-point line, it started to look like warm-up drills. They cannot be afraid to bring more defenders out high. They got to make life tougher on those outside shooters.
And that's a wrap. With the third quarter approaching, we now send you back to Kevin and the crew.
The skyline of Dallas illuminating the night sky as we welcome you back to the Lone Star State. And as we begin the second half, first half wasn't even close, guys, and we'll see if there is a comeback on our hands or more of the same as we get the third quarter started. One of the stories here, Harrison Barnes getting it done today.
I mean, he was prolific in that first half. You know it's coming, but it's just so tough to stop.
And this is what he does, right, Greg? He's out there to score the basketball, and throughout that first half, he dominated.
Third quarter just about to get going here in what has been so far a runaway game. On the wings, it's Doncic and Barnes. Inside pairing is Dirk and Jordan. And it's Smith in at the 1. That's the lineup in the game for Dallas. Nowitzki a screen. Off the screen. The rebound by the Timberwolves. Wiggins has got his 5th rebound in this one. Butler. They grabbed their own miss. And it's Gibson finishing it off.
Well, Taj Gibson has built his NBA game on his ability to rebound the basketball consistently. What a great nose for it he has.
Now here is Smith. Nowitzki with the screen on Teague. That's a 2 from Smith, and he sinks the shot coming off the strong pick. Smith's got 12 points in the game.
Oh, nice screen. Really a poor defensive reaction and the obvious result.
You simply can't give him that. You have to fight through the screen and at least get a hand in the face of the shooter.
T kicks to Gibson. Over Nowitzki. No good. Shot missing. Now the Mavericks take it the other way. They'll be playing host to Chicago for their next game. That'll be the latter half of this 2-game homestand.
Well, a point guard must understand window of opportunity, and Jeff Teague specializes in exactly that.
Smith against Teague. Lobs it up for Jordan. Towns with the steal. Outside Butler. Trying to break that ice-cold streak. And that's going to be too many steps. Gets the whistle on the travel.
Trying to come back, Kevin, and you can't afford too many mistakes. His fourth turnover hampering their efforts.
Now here is Smith. He's got 12. Back to Nowitzki. And there's the call. It's going to be an illegal screen.
And that's a tough one, but on those illegal screen calls, the defender's never going to get the benefit of the doubt.
And that's true. The officials used to be pretty lenient on those, but not anymore.
Towns kicks to Butler. Back to Towns. And Towns throws it down.
Oh, oops, the alley. A gorgeous delivery to Towns.
And a tremendous Unleash Chaos replay coming to you courtesy of Under Armour Hover Havoc. That's good from Nowitzki on the assist by Smith. 8 points for Nowitzki.
I think the one constant with Tom Thibodeau is you can always hear his voice the entire game. Doesn't matter if you're up 20 or down 20, you will hear Tom Thibodeau on the sideline.
No good from outside. Timberwolves trail by 21. Wiggins kicks to Butler. And the three off target. The Mavericks have gone 2 of 4 here to start the second half. And hearing Coach Tom Thibodeau, some have described his voice as part growl, part bark.
He's very intense, Kevin, and I think the one thing you know about Tom Thibodeau, he likes to say, there is a price to pay. It's all about the work you put in.
Well, the grimace of pain tells it all. He's hurt, and let's hope he's okay.
Yeah, it looks like he's in real pain. Definitely a concern right now.
Well, these are the moments that can be gut-wrenching for him and his team, right? Anytime you see an injury like this, certainly your heart goes out to him and to his family.
J.J. Barea is checked in for Dennis Smith. Teague the pass to Towns. Over Jordan. Looks good, is good. That's his 7th basket in 12 tries.
And the shooting has really been there for him today, but he may have to take it upon himself to continue to carry this team and try and get out of this hole.
Now, here's Doncic. Launches it. Dallas, no good that time either.
You know what, though? Sometimes you can be too open. I think it may have surprised him, and that's why he missed.
Here's Teague. It's rebounded by Dallas. Nowitzki's got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight. Barnes outside. Jordan sets the pick for Barnes. And he's fouled pretty hard on that shot, but he's got the chance to pick up the points at the line. Taj Gibson picks one up. Well, when people talk about Harrison Barnes, Doris, everyone will tell you he's one of the most poised and thoughtful players in the league.
I think some of that was on display during his tenure with the Golden State Warriors. And with this present organization, they've basically said, we need you to be a more vocal leader. And he's accepted that challenge.
2.
And the first one at the line is good. And good on the second, so he makes them both. Timberwolves trail by 21. Towns, the screen. Out to the right wing. And stolen by Jordan. And they're on the break. Here's Doncic. Again, the miss by the Mavericks. For Minnesota, they've gone an even 50% from the floor here in the third quarter. 4 of 8. A nice shot by Teague.
And good passing, setting up a lot of these buckets right now, Kevin. That's been the key.
Jordan, the screen. Back to Barea. They set the pick. Nowitzki outside. Jordan with the screen on Gibson. Just 5 on the clock. Nowitzki kicks to Barea, and the foul called on Tyus Jones. That'll be his second foul of the game. Kuzminskis, he's checked in for Minnesota. Pass to Doncic. Hits the three-point bomb. Doncic has got 5 now.
An average shooter from deep, it's important that Doncic continues to work on this part of his game.
Outside Gibson. Back to Jones. Doncic with the steal. Shoots. And Barea with the basket on the assist by Nowitzki. He's got 12.
Gotta love Nowitzki setting his guys up with perfect passes.
T kicks to Towns. No good with the elbow jumper.
And a surprise he doesn't knock that down. Defense a little too lax that time.
Doncic, no good. Minnesota's gone 1 of 2 from beyond the arc since coming out of the break. Jones drives in. Here's Gibson. The shot misses. Good work defensively by Nowitzki. And there's the feed to Barea. Nowitzki against Gibson. Sinks that one from the post. Gibson's got 4 points in the quarter.
It matters not if you have a hand up in contest. Taj Gibson feels like he can score now on the low post.
Barea against Jones. Puts up a 3. Nowitzki's shot is no good. Timberwolves trail by 21. Jones the pass to Teague. Over Doncic. And the shot falls short this time.
Just not much success when it comes to shooting.
Deflects the pass. It's stolen by Jones. Now here's Teague. He has 6. Towns the screen. Teague kicks to Towns. And there's the foul. It goes on Taj Gibson. That'll be his second foul of the game.
His first triple of the second half. That makes 3 for the game.
And some changes here for the Mavericks. Mike Powell comes in for Dirk Nowitzki. And Wesley Matthews subbed in for Harrison Barnes. Timberwolves also changing it up. Gorgie Dang comes in for Taj Gibson. And it's Rose in for Jones. Here's Barea. The putback. He hangs in there and cashes in on the second chance points.
And those second chance points really become almost like bonus points when you can get them.
Teague the pass to Towns. He dishes it to Rose. Matthews with the rebound. Matthews has got his 3rd rebound on the night. Moment here now for an injury report. Let's find out the news on Jimmy Butler. Dave, what's the update?
Well, guys, I had a moment to catch up with Minnesota's head athletic trainer, and the news is pretty good. It does not look like a severe injury. That is a bitter pill for them to swallow so early in the season. It clearly changes the look of this team going forward, Kevin.
All right, David, thank you for the update. I know we're all interested in what his status is.
And it might be a tough road back for him. I mean, but one thing's for sure, he will be back.
Well, we know this. The guy's a fighter. I'm sure nobody's more disappointed than he is to have to go through this. But I am sure this guy will work every day to get back as quick as possible.
The Timberwolves again can't hit.
Just a solid performance on the interior. The rebounding has been off the charts.
A shot by Jordan, no good. Minnesota's gone 2 of 3 when they ventured outside the arc in the 3rd quarter. Here's Kuzminskis. He's covered by Matthews. And Kuzminskis gets it to go. Kuzminskis has got his 2nd bucket of the night.
And you just hate to give up those second chance points.
Well, you better be more physical on the glass because they wanted that rebound more than them, plain and simple.
Powell for 3. Minnesota with the rebound. Outside Teague. Jang a screen. Here's Kuzminskis. Off target with his 3. Dallas leading by 20. Down low. And denied. He sends it right off the glass. Passes it to Towns. Here's Kuzminskis, guarded by Jordan. With the tip, Powell pulls it in. Dallas has gone into a slump here from three-point range, shooting just 1 of 5 here in the third. Doncic kicks to Barea, gets to the corner and buries it. Barea's got 4 points this quarter.
And how about the vision there from Doncic? Can make the easy pass and also the difficult.
Teague the pass to Jang. Here's Kuzminskis. Towns a screen on Matthews. Here's Kuzminskis. He's covered by Matthews. And so he earns a trip to the line. Official saw the contact and he'll shoot 2. The Timberwolves have been shooting right around 75% at the line, 9 of 12 so far.
And they had a lot of success a season ago as a team, hitting about 80% of their free throws.
Now, gentlemen, 2 shots. 2 shots.
First one falls for him. And some changes here for the Mavericks. Measury, he's checked in for Jordan. And it's Dennis Smith in for J.J. Barea. And the Timberwolves also making a change. Anthony Tolliver. He's checked in for Towns. So he gets them both. And so it's Dallas with it. This, their first chance to take a look at Minnesota this season.
And here we go. The first in what will be a 3-game season series between the 2 teams.
You know, right out of the gates, one team gets a lead with the head-to-head advantage, bragging rights, if you will, over the other. And tonight, it starts.
Mavericks leading by 20. Doncic kicks to Smith. Powell with the screen. They set the pick. Pass to Matthews. The fader scored the bucket. He's made 5 so far, shooting a very clean 5 of 7.
Well, he's one of those guys who's kept their offense clicking. They're in front thanks in no small part to what this guy's done.
It's taken away by Smith. Rose with some nice D.
Man, look at how well the defense does to cut his path to the basket. Comes up empty on what might have been an easy play.
The pass to Measury. Outside Matthews. Rose against Smith. Powell with the screen. Doncic passes to Matthews. Off the mark from 16 feet out.
And why take that contested shot? I mean, make the extra pass.
You know, that's a head scratcher. When the defense is in your grill, move the ball.
And still, he's scoreless. Boy, they could use just a little bit of help from him.
And the dunk by Powell.
You have got to commend Powell on his positioning. I tell you, he buries himself deep, and he's going to sky for that slam dunk.
Now here's Rose. There's the screen. Tolliver dishes to Rose. This one for 3. And the rebound goes to the Mavericks. Measury's got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight. Now 8 seconds separating the 2 clocks. Feeds it to Smith. Kicks to Matthews. Pass to Doncic. Just 5 to shoot. Powell with the screen. He used that pick to perfection. That's 7 points for Luka Doncic.
And just clever at creating space off the screen. Doncic, someone you can't afford to lose sight of in these situations. Oh, great job on the closeout, providing a lot of good D on the perimeter.
Well, that's just superb effort on the defensive end. You don't allow the shooter to get into a rhythm from deep.
And so it's the Dallas Mavericks ahead by 26 points as we get ready for the break. They've been playing some inspired defense, giving up very few easy points. We've got more NBA basketball coming your way in just a minute. And let's take this chance now to show you the State Farm assist of the game.
Just true artistry right there. I mean, great decision on where to go with the ball, and how about the perfect delivery?
We call that, Greg, putting it right in the pocket, and he knew what to do with it once it was there.
And we're rolling here again with the fourth quarter. Might not come down to the wire, but you never know. And a look at the 5 for the Timberwolves to start the fourth. We've got Anthony Tolliver, and it's Bates Diop in at the 3 spot. Now here's Rose. Mejri with the rebound. Mejri's got his 5th rebound right now in the game.
The edge on the glass is the difference. It's allowed them to build this lead.
Dallas moving it around. Kleba, the pass to Brunson. Here's Finney-Smith. He's covered by Rose. Harris misses. The Timberwolves shooting 28%. A rocky performance for them offensively. To the wing right side. There's the pick. Here's Bates Diop. Kleba with the rebound.
He definitely got nervous at the rim. I mean, he needs to make sure he finishes strong.
Harris's shot is good. Harris has got the fourth quarter started here with a bucket for the Mavs.
Moving it around, 8 of their last 10 coming off assists.
Passes it to Bates Diop. Doris, what is your solution to the controversy surrounding one and dones?
Kevin, I believe the one and dones will be a thing of the past, and I think it will happen shortly. And the reason that can now become a viable option is the G League holds the key. You can now allow players to enter into the minor league straight out of high school. If they raise the salary of those G League players, then it helps across the board.
First minute and a half of basketball played here in the fourth quarter. Pass to Finney-Smith. Here's Brunson. Good on the three-point shot.
The assist totals, Kevin, just continue to grow. They're way ahead in that category. Ball movement has been flawless.
Here's Nunley. And that's out of bounds. Minnesota will retain possession. Last quarter of play, about 2 minutes in now. There's the pass to Bates Diop. Second chance shot.
No doubt the fight's there. They are trying to battle back, but he's just really struggling this quarter.
Left side, Harris. Kleba kicks to Harris. Clock at 4. From downtown, he can't get that one to fall. Good work defensively by Jones.
They need a bucket in a big way here to regain some confidence.
A little over 2.5 minutes have passed here in the fourth quarter. Here's Brunson. Pass to Finney-Smith. Terrific design on the big play, and he lays it in.
I love this approach. Despite the lead, still attacking, adding fuel to the fire.
They are absolutely relentless right now, Greg. There's no end in sight. They are going for it.
Tolliver for 3. It's rebounded by Dallas. Look at the state of the game. International leagues getting better and better, Doris. There's no doubt about it. We see it at Olympic times and during FIBA play in between. We see a lot of NBA players who have spent time abroad, and I think they come back better.
I don't think there's any doubt about that, Kevin. I think wherever you can hone your craft and do it in a competitive environment where winning and losing is at stake on a nightly basis, it has so many opportunities for learning and growth. So, okay, I can't turn it over 5 times in a competitive environment, regardless of what league I'm playing in, because that's to the detriment of my team. If I'm lazy on the defensive end, I'm going to get exposed by good offensive players. To me, Kev, I love any time there's competitive basketball being played. I want to watch it.
Love that answer. Timberwolves shooting just 28%. They are offensively out of whack and out of step with each other at this point. They set the pick. Jones kicks to Tolliver. Okogie guarded by Harris. Okogie. Some solid defense from Harris. Dallas has gone 1 of 3 from outside the arc since we've reached the fourth quarter. Here's Brunson. Measury misses.
Affecting the shot in a big way there. Excellent defense.
Well, you talk about getting into the space of the shooter. This is how you defend the paint.
And there's the 3-second violation.
Trying to cut into this lead. Bad time for a miscue.
Well, Greg, that's a huge error. You can't afford to make these kinds of mistakes when you're already playing from behind.
Now here is Harris. And the foul called on Tyus Jones. That's his 3rd foul of the game. You always hear coaches preaching consistency. Doris, what enables that kind of night in, night out reliability?
Well, I think a lot goes into it, and you can start with pride, Kevin. If you're putting in the kind of preparation necessary, then you're going to take a certain amount of pride in the things you do on a night-by-night basis. Things aren't always going to go your way, but it's not how you end the night. It's how do you respond in the middle of the game when things are going against you. Calls haven't gone your way, or perhaps there's a bad matchup. What's your response? So a lot of things go into consistency, and it's why we take special pride covering players who pride themselves on being available.
And one of the most admired things you have, too, as well.
Correct. Michael Jordan loved to play every night.
And here they come.
Ooh, a forceful finish from the big fella.
Well, with a player for that size, you'd think he'd make the highlight reel more often.
Yeah, terrific effort. He obviously has the length to make those plays when he's being aggressive.
Passes it to Brunson. Here's Kleba. There's the pick. 6 to shoot. Harris outside. Releases. Offensive rebound. And the basket good by Measuring.
And physically, there's no doubt they've been the stronger team. A +10 rebound advantage tells you all you need to know.
Pass to Bates-Diop. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot. We've seen, Doris, the NBA take a very active role in growing the game internationally. Talk about some of the specifics you've seen in that regard.
Well, I think you have a great leader at the top in Adam Silver, who understands that the game is growing on an international stage. It's becoming increasingly popular. And so you see NBA teams going over and playing regular season games in different countries. That's one particular way. Then you have the NBA Cares initiative, which when those teams are over there, they can go out and build basketball academies. NBA in Africa is a once-a-year trip, and they bring 2 teams of NBA players. Think about some of the players off of that continent where they have turned into legit stars. So I think it's important that the game continue to develop, and I love that the NBA considers it part of their responsibility.
The Timberwolves making a switch here. Towns is checked in. And he misses the second one as well, so he is 0 for 2 that time. Players going to great lengths to improve their performance and extending their prime years. We're seeing it all over the league. Doris, it amazes me.
I heard a number of LeBron James spending 7 figures a year.
Wow.
That's a 1 in 6 zeros to take care of his body.
No kidding.
Right, making an investment in your future. Understanding nutrition to training to recovery. Listen, you have a limited window, Kevin, to make money with your body if you're a professional athlete. So why you wouldn't want to extend that window as long as possible? You're playing a kid's game for fun, Kevin. Come on, let's lengthen it out if we can.
First free throw is good. We know James Harden joined Durant and Westbrook in winning league MVP honors, Doris. Had those 3 stayed together in Oklahoma City, is there any doubt in your mind that they would have won at least one NBA championship?
Well, you think back to the time they worked together, and they did go to an NBA Finals and ended up being eliminated by LeBron James and the Miami Heat. So obviously, you like the opportunity they would have had to go to more. And let's give a little credit to the great GM of the Oklahoma City franchise, Sam Presti, who is responsible for the drafting of 3 MVP candidates. That in and of itself is quite remarkable. But you know this, Kevin. Success and failure, there is such a fine line. And there's a tenuous nature to things, an injury at the wrong time. So many times this trio was tripped up by an untimely situation. So, I mean, if they stay together, yes, you like their chances, but this is why history states otherwise.
Here's Mejri following the bucket by the Timberwolves. Dallas, no good that time either.
I'll tell you, they've had to look elsewhere for their scoring, and they've gotten it. This guy has had very little impact on the game offensively.
Bates Diop misses. The Mavericks have gone 5 of 12 from the field entering the fourth quarter. Here's Kleba out to the wing. They set the pick. Harris outside. Here's Brunson. The offensive rebound. Mejri. And the pass to Kleba. Harris outside. To the left wing. Kleba, no good.
Nice timing to get up on that shot.
Boy, you can't ask for better defense, Greg. Excellent work getting right into the grill of the shooter.
And they're passing the ball very crisply here.
They are in complete control.
This is the ultimate definition of the zone. Everything they've done has worked.
Now here is Harris. Dallas moving it around. It's deflected. From deep. But they recover it.
And that's a good job of just getting after it on the backboard. Gets them another possession and allows them to run even more clock.
Now here's Jones. Outside, Towns. Indoors last summer, we saw the inaugural season of the NBA 2K League. Over half the league's franchises fielding teams. It looks to be the start of something very special and very unique.
No doubt, Kevin. And the NBA has always been an organization at the forefront of embracing technology. And the reality is there is a huge market for this. The younger generation gets just as excited with how their virtual home team is doing in the standings. Big things on the horizon for the NBA 2K League, and you better not square up against me, Kev. You got no shot.
Oh, okay. I've recorded that comment. And that one falls for Mejri.
Impeccable from the line since halftime.
Dwight Powell's checked in for the Mavericks. And he makes both free throws. Timberwolves shooting only 35% in the fourth quarter. The offense looking a little rickety. Jones kicks to Rose. Here's Towns. No good that time. And it's Dallas the other way.
Well, they've been better than good on the glass today, and there is a glaring discrepancy between these two teams in that area.
Minnesota with the ball, all alone. And it's off the back rim, no good. They've been doing a great job of sharing the ball.
And guys, shot A comes to mind for me because right now that offense, it's a smooth operator.
Now here's Mejri. 5 to shoot. Here's Harris. Pass to Brunson. On the wing, Harris. He's covered by Rose. Pass to Finney-Smith. Back to Powell. Here's Brunson. This one for 3. Hands it from downtown. Brunson's got 9 points in the quarter.
And you can see where they're attacking here in the fourth, strictly from the perimeter.
Well, they've got the green light to pull the trigger from three, and I'll tell you, they've put it to good use here.
He knew what he wanted to do all along. The teardrop.
The Mavericks shooting a paltry 33% in the fourth. Not a good showing for this offense. Powell with the screen. Pass to Brunson. There's the triple. It's hauled in by Bates-Diop. The Timberwolves shooting a low 30% right now. An ugly offensive performance.
And one team is just completely outclassing the other tonight. Spirited performance, and it really ignited what is turning out to be a monster win here for the Mavericks.
It was a standout performance across the board.
I mean, it was like watching a cat play with a mouse. They were able to do more or less whatever they wanted.
And so with this, they'll end up with their second win on the year.
And once it becomes official, this win gives them a nice confidence boost against this team. They'll face them twice more this season.
And a great team effort tonight, helped in large part with contributions, and the nice night it ended up being for Jordan.
Boy, his activity really stood out to me on the defensive end. He harassed ball handlers, came up with steals in transition. You had the feeling guys were looking over their shoulder, worried he was going to pick their pocket.
First one falls for him. Doris, this term +6 coming into the lexicon describes a player whose wingspan exceeds his height by at least 6 inches. I know you've heard that before.
Yeah, well, we can think of several players who fit this description of the +6. Electric young players like Donovan Mitchell, Kawhi Leonard, the claw. The claw extends to his wingspan as well. And then Draymond Green, who in the fourth quarter defensively can seem like a player who's everywhere at every moment.
Now here's Barea. And that one off the back of the rim and in.
And giving the fans what they came to see, a spirited performance.
Yeah, it really was. They wanted this home win badly, and they went out and took it.
Towns with it, defended by Mejri. It's stolen by Barea. Dallas moving the ball around. The pass to Brunson. Powell with the screen. Shot clock at 6. They set the screen. Here's Barea. Minnesota with the rebound. Here's Bates-Diop. And too long on the shot. And here's Barea. So we see the Mavericks taking the win here. It was a tale of two teams tonight, one that was in total control, operating flawlessly, and the other just searching for answers that they could never find.
I mean, the energy here is just so tremendous. Fans involved from the get-go, and once they started to really pour it on, it was fun to see that rhythm and flow from their perspective.
And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Thank you, Kevin. DeAndre, you were active at both ends today. How did you get yourself going?
I think it was just us trying to come out and win a game at home. We know how important these are. Every game that we play is important, so we just got to keep it going.
And you protected the home court well, DeAndre. Thanks for your time. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, great job. Thanks so much. And that'll do it, folks. For Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time